Money Monster is a thriller starring George Clooney, Julia Roberts, Jack O'Connell, and is directed by Jodie Foster. When a gunman enters the airing of the TV show Money Monster and threatens its host Lee Gates, it is up to the director Patty to figure a way to solve the situation. I was actually pretty interested in seeing this movie, considering who's in it and the director, and also the premise sounds pretty interesting. And overall, I thought this was a pretty decent thriller. I do have some issues with it, but I'll talk about those later. And George Clooney was great in this movie, playing an arrogant kind of asshole, and throughout the movie, he does not handle this situation in the best way, but it makes sense for his character. And I liked that Clooney's character had an arc to it, although near the end it went a little too far and wasn't as believable for reasons I'll give later. And Julia Roberts was also great in this movie. She is very believable as this character, and you trust her in this situation. I thought they did a good job in the first act at showing us the two's friendship, so when this situation does happen, you can tell that Roberts really does feel for Clooney, and she does not want him to get hurt. And Jack O'Connell was superb in this movie, and they gave his character good motivation, so you understood why he was doing this, and it made it easier to relate to his character. I thought his character had a great arc, and he had really good chemistry with Clooney. And the scenes with the three of them is where this movie shines, because it is a very intense, self-contained thriller. But all of the scenes that happen outside of there is where this movie really lacks. There are a lot of really stale characters that you don't know very much about, and it jumps around from all these different locations and feels very discombobulated. It also makes the movie feel a lot more standard and procedural with all the police stuff that happens, and I also found the acting wasn't as great in those scenes. Every time we left the studio to go to a new location, it took away all the tension that we had built up. And I feel like this movie would have worked so much better as a self-contained thriller. A lot like a movie that came out earlier this year, 10 Cloverfield Lane. I also wish we would have known more about Roberts and Clooney's character. They kind of take the time in the first act to tell us stuff with like Roberts' relationship status and stuff, but then they don't really continue it throughout the movie. And they are likable characters, but I feel like had they taken the time to develop them more, they would have been much stronger. Again, had this movie just been a self-contained thriller, it would have allowed for more character developing scenes. And also, for me, it would have made the final arc in Clooney's character more believable. They also have this very movie cliche bit about Robert's character, and the way in which they utilized it, it was totally unnecessary. And the humor, it works pretty well in the first act, but when stuff starts going down, a lot of it takes away from the tension and just feels out of place. Overall, I liked this movie. I thought the main performances were great, and it worked really well as a self-contained thriller. But yeah, every time they moved location, the movie would lose its footing and feel messy. I'm gonna give Money Monster a B-. If you have seen the movie, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, or you can just click right here to see more.